Okay, in all honesty, I'm really busy with working on my main channel video, and I really don't feel like playing another league game today. So, let's do the questions. Just want to remind you guys, if you have questions, you can leave it with the hashtag questions like this. I'll be able to see them more easily, plus I heart them to try to keep track. I'd be happy if you could explain how to teleport when you're in the middle of a fight. Okay, so I'll try to show what I think this person's asking. Okay, say your top lane. If your minion wave is about right here, like if you have to CS under tower, depending on how many minions there are, it might not be a good idea to teleport. Just because if you teleport, say you teleport bot in the middle of a fight, you lose out on all the minions here, and then if the fight doesn't go extremely well at that point, you pretty much lose lane. Now, say that you have your minions pushed up to here and you can walk away safely and teleport without getting interrupted by the enemy top laner. It's a great teleport. Even if you don't get a kill, say you get 2 assists, it's worth. Sure, you might lose maybe a minion wave, but overall it's still worth. I always get fed but have no clue on how to win the game. Okay, so as an ADC, I used to have problems carrying a lot. If I wasn't playing a champion that can't be proactive, like Ezreal, Lucian, Xayah, those champions have ways to punish mistakes. Whereas other champions like maybe Xayah and Kog'Maw, people pretty much have to like walk into you, right? So whenever you get fed, it's generally a good idea to take an assessment of how everyone else is doing on the team and then what would be the best way to progress. So I think the biggest thing is you're gonna wanna get the bot tower. Say we're red side. Say we're red side, our mid's even, our top is losing, okay? Say we're 2-0, we took bot tower and we're playing Xayah, okay? Once you get this bot tower, you're gonna usually 9 out of 10 times, if dragon is not up, you're gonna wanna rotate top and start working to get this tower and Rift Herald. You wanna tell your top laner to go bot, and you wanna tell your support to come up here and play top side of the map. But stuff like this can change. So they have a Rise, you're not getting the tower. You have to kill him. So if you have like a Nautilus or a Blitzcrank or a Thresh or a Leona, then yeah, this can work. But say you have a Janna, like you're not killing Rise, you're just kind of neutralizing it. So it might be a better idea to go mid. But say mid lane, they have a Lux, okay? I know Lux isn't the best wave clear, but okay, fine, Ziggs. And you still have the Janna support, you're not getting this tower either. So in this scenario, I would either try to force Rift Herald or just sit bot lane and try to get this tier 2 tower. Also, when you're fed, make sure that you're farming as many camps as possible. If your jungler is 0-1 on Graves and you're 2-0, take the camps. As if you're not farming anything, always do your lane first or a lane first and then camps if your jungler isn't on that side of the map. Or if it's safe to take the enemy camps. Taking the enemy camps is actually way better. Are you an ADC main? Yes, I'm an ADC main, but I played a ton of Rakan, dude. Like at one point, my Rakan had like a 73% win rate with a ton of games played. Rakan's still my 4th most played. Like I queue ADC support. But I would also consider myself a diamond top laner because I did hit diamond back in season 7 with Kled and Jace. And then mid lane's definitely weaker. And then jungle, don't listen to me. I know some stuff about jungle like pathing, but there's a big reason why I do not have any jungler videos on this channel and why I probably never will. I'm not good at the role, and I don't want to like tell you guys about stuff that I'm not sure on, and that's kind of why I stopped with like the requests. Because yeah, I'm an okay Kennen, but for example, like the LeBlanc and Nami video, those videos did just way worse because people watched less. Because YouTube cares about how long they watch the video, and so when they see it's someone literally incompetent playing LeBlanc or Nami, they don't care, so they click off, you know? But then like say on the Ashe video, it's like a 10-minute view duration because I know what the hell I'm doing. How long have I been playing League of Legends? I started in season 4, so like 7 years ago. Holy shit. It's like 6.5 years. If CDR is a problem with Xayah, would Nabari be a good option for her? Okay, I'm gonna be straight. Xayah's not worth picking. You can see like even here, I played her a ton in the last season. She wasn't viable by any stretch of the imagination. I was better off playing Senna and Jhin and Ashe. But just because I'm really good at the champion and I know when to pick her, I'm able to get like a pretty good win rate on her. But even in situations where you would maybe consider picking Xayah this preseason, I should say, she's really not good at all. The champ feels really, really weak. But one way to check if you want to build like Navari and stuff is to go here and then items. This site's op.gg is what I use for everything. And then you just want to look at it yourself, right? So more people go this build, has a higher win rate. Less people go this build and it has a lower win rate. I also got buffed, so at 3 crit items, it's really nice. I would say Navari is a good crit item to pick up 4th after your Infinity Edge, because Nabari is an item, it feels really bad under 40%, and it just doesn't feel good until you get to that 80% with it, in my opinion. So I think building it 3rd just feels bad, but having CDR on Xayah is nice, and getting feathers out nonstop is really good. But the problem is Xayah doesn't abuse Nabari like a Lucian would or a Kog'Maw would. Kog'Maw abuses it because he gets to have his W up permanently. Yeah, see, this is the build I've been going. I don't like Winsus this season on Kog. What made you want to start playing League of Legends? My friends played it. along with that, one reason why I wanted to make a League channel is because on my main channel, I used to make League of Legends full gameplay commentaries, but oh, it's not gonna scroll. I used to make full gameplay commentaries, but it just doesn't feel right with all the edited stuff I have on here, and it just felt lazy, and I didn't like it. There's some edited League content on here if you guys want to see that though. Can you teach wave control as an ADC? Okay, so this is another really loaded question. Okay, so say we're bot lane. Once again, this relies on matchups a ton, just like how teleporting top lane relied on matchups a ton. So basically wave control, I'm gonna assume, I'm just gonna give you like blanket answers for most stuff, but know that it varies depending on the matchup. For example, you're probably gonna want to push lane as fast as possible if there's a misfortune on the enemy team coming back to lane, because her W increases her movement speed. You want to keep that kind of stuff in mind. Okay, so generally whenever the enemy is backing, like say I just caught someone back here, I'm pushing the lane as fast as I can if it's safe. Say they just went back, but you think you can freeze the wave here and you just got your reset, so you don't have a ton of gold to spend. You can try to freeze the wave here, especially if you're stronger than them. Freezing the wave here is great. Generally you want about 4 to 5 minions to freeze the wave. You want to keep the wave here as much as you can, but generally it's just like getting priority. If your jungler is pinging Scuttle Crab, try to push the wave. That way if the enemy bot lane tries to respond to Scuttle Crab and you also go to Scuttle Crab, they're losing out on minions because they got pushed to tower. If you want to roam, if your support's roaming, just play back, try to CS safely. But if you want to roam too, try to push the wave so they lose minions and you lose fewer minions because it's into their tower. You can build up a really big minion wave from a freeze to go hit the plating if you want. That's called a slow push. Generally, you would just want to try to match the enemy ADC's auto attacks, if not do a little more than them after a freeze. But there's a ton of stuff with wave control. It depends on the matchup of the ADCs and the supports and the junglers and the mid laners, and if top lane has like a Shen. A lot of it matters. A lot of it is just learning yourself. So whenever you try something out with the wave, just try to make a mental note of what you did and then watch the result of it. I'm still not fantastic at wave management, like at all, but I would say the biggest thing, especially for lower elo players, is push the minion wave into the tower when the enemy goes back. Okay, and then I also had 2 questions that I wanted to answer. Number 1 was, how good is Rel? Not that good. I would say the problem with Rel is she has a ton of crowd control, but she doesn't really do a bunch of damage. I think if they gave her minimal buffs, she'd actually be pretty okay. But her main problem is she just fits like the archetype of like a Leona or a Nautilus, but she does not have the damage to follow up. She is very good with champions that can follow up on CC like Samira or Caitlyn though. Okay, and then the other one is Ezreal bad late game? Because I had just a huge comment chain on one video and it was making me cringe. So I have to talk about it here. But just generally, Ezreal does not have the best scaling just because he doesn't do as much damage per second as like literally almost every other crit ADC. You can look at the damage charts and see that Ezreal probably did more damage than other ADCs, but that's because Ezreal pokes a lot before team fights, not because you're doing a ton of damage per second. The role of an ADC is to have late game security and then siege towers, and then also have consistent damage. Ezreal is now good at sieging towers because of his new update that happened like 2 years ago, but since Ezreal is like an ability based champion, he's not going to scale as well as most crit ADCs. Okay, so we are full build Ezreal. Oh, I'll also fully stack tier, my bad, and runes. Okay, so a lot of the time as Ezreal, you're gonna be as far back as possible, just pressing Q, because he only has a 550 auto attack range. So auto attacking can be safe, especially if you have E, but you're gonna have to E away eventually and then poke with Q, right? But here, let's say that I do get the auto attack, okay? See how the DPS is like 1,700-ish? All right, you're gonna have to believe me, but I'm gonna close my... Here, dude, we'll even do Xayah, okay? Xayah is even worse than Ezreal, okay? So, Xayah, very bad right now, right? But we have 100 crit chance, which is what you're gonna be going for this season. I'm literally only going to use W and auto attacks. You see how my DPS is much higher just from using one spell? Now, if you combine that and actually attack move and stuff, look at how much higher the damage goes. And this champ is bad. And crit right now is bad. Now, I already know, well, you were going to say that auto-attacking Ezreal is a liberty. It's a liberty because he's not as safe as Xayah. Because Xayah gets to have this ult and then that stun and then Gale Force. Ezreal's really safe, but even when he's not being safe, he's not doing as much damage as Xayah. Ezreal's more of a mid-game pick. And I'm not saying Ezreal's bad late game. Just compared to most crit ADCs, he is going to be worse off in terms of doing raw damage output and sieging towers. Oh, Oh, wait. I had another question. I swear I did. I swear I got another question about how fast my channel's growing, but maybe I imagined that? I swear I got a question for how fast my channel is growing. Okay, well, this is what my channel looks like in the last 28 days. I'm really satisfied with growth on this channel, especially assuming this shit. But I am doing a really big upload on the main channel, the Kinda Daddy channel, so go check that out. It's coming out on December 23rd. I'm gonna be rating every single video game I've ever played. But if you guys enjoyed this, leave a like, subscribe if you're new, put hashtag questions in the comments, and I will see you all next time. Peace out.